Hi, welcome back to the Horizon Art Room. I'm Mr. Schwanebeck. Today we're going to finish up our portraits on this final day of the Thoughtful Portrait Project. I think by now you've had some time to draw your portrait, add in some details that describe you and your interests that kind of explain your experience, and you've also had time to put down some color into your portrait. We used a very limited palette, just a handful of colors, maybe 5 or 6 or so colors. Today, we're going to do the finishing touch. So the finishing touch on this self-portrait is going to be putting some extra layers of color into certain places to add the illusion of a bit of shadow. The shadows are going to make my picture seem like it has a little more natural light, but also create a feeling of roundness on some of the objects. As I work, it will darken that color, make it a little more bold, and that should make the face appear to be a little bit darker, a little bit more shadowy on that one side. Light on one side, shadow on the other. I think that that's going to make my portrait look a little more realistic. It's already becoming a little bit more three-dimensional, just by putting that extra layer onto the face. I can also use colors on the lower edges. This black shirt is under my sweater, so right here along the edge of the sweater, I'm going to make the shirt a little bit darker. Also, darken one side of my shirt with that same blue that I used before. Let me switch to the hair color. Right here at the part of my hair, I'm going to add some extra brown. I also think that the side of my hair ought to be a little bit darker too. There can be light and dark parts in your hair. Your hair will have lighter and darker highlights. Everybody's hair has light and dark areas. Sometimes it's because the color of your hair might be lighter and darker, and sometimes it's because the light shines on it and makes it seem a little lighter. I might want to do a small, subtle, gentle shadow right at the edge of the playing cards so that it looks like the cards are above. I might take the blue from the background and go underneath the cards. Yes, it helps to outline the cards a little bit, but it also helps them look like there's a little bit of shadow underneath the cards and under the magic wand. Shadows are usually on one side, making that side darker and the other side lighter. Here, where the fabric rolls underneath, this part is tucked under, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker right there. Give a little bit of shadow by the edges, making it look a little more wrinkly. Just on one side of the line. You pick which side. Doesn't that look a little bit more three-dimensional? I think it does. Put a little more of that blue underneath. A little bit of a shadow there. Just a little shadow to make it look 3D. Let's put a little bit of a shadow under this. So I'm using the same color as the background. Whatever the shadow is on, I use that same color. Just like that. Not a lot. Just little touches here and there. Definitely a little bit more 3D. Where can you add shadows to yours? Which colors would you use? When you're finished, take a picture and share it to Seesaw because we can't wait to see what you're creating.